Hey ho, my name is Joe. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you have been sticking around with me. Thank you for sticking around. I know I haven't done a video in a really long time, and it's because I've had a lot going on. Sorry, I'm fidgeting in an office chair. This is a chair that my brother gave me because his wife upgraded, and it was a good chair for me for now because I really need a different chair. Anyway, but hi, hello. You guys see my shirt? Yeah, my hometown. Why not, right? Anyway, so please forgive me. I haven't really put myself together today, but I want to talk about these books. So yes, I am doing my recent reads, and the reason I haven't really done a video in a while is because I have had a lot going on in my life, and I've been going to therapy, and I've been just trying to work out some things, and I haven't really had the time to do any recording because I've been working like crazy. I've been, let's see, just in the last, this is awkward, adjusting myself here. Just in the last 2 weeks, I'd done over 150 hours. No, sorry, it was over 125 hours, and that was between one job. And the other job, or working my second job, I probably put close to over 150 hours. So, needless to say, this girl's exhausted. But I did bring some books that we can talk about, because with all of the hours I've been doing, I have managed to read some. Not as much as I would like, but I have managed to read. So let's go ahead and talk about these books, because I've got a lot to say about them. And where to begin? Well, yeah. Let's just start talking about them. So the first two books that I'm going to talk about are, the first one is an audiobook. I can't remember the exact title of it, but it's How the World is Going to Change in 2030, or it's like something like that. I'll have the picture on the screen. It'll be over here, actually. So I'll have the picture on the screen so you guys can see it. So this one was basically written in 2020. It was written just after the pandemic started. And he talks about how the world is going to change and how things are already changing. And I mean, I did definitely learn a couple of things from it, but I feel like it was not for me, because even though I did end up finishing it, I completely forgot everything that happened or everything that was talked about in the book. I mean, I remember some of the technology stuff, but I don't remember everything. And I want to say I ended up giving it 3 stars, I think. 3 out of 5. I don't remember. But yeah, there's that one. I don't remember much of it. That's why I'm not talking about much of it. Okay. So the next one was actually an ARC that was given to me as an ebook, and that is Girl of Hearts by J. Gabriels. I think I'm totally saying his name wrong. But he is an author that I found on TikTok, and if you guys are following me on TikTok, I have been posting a lot more lately, so you guys should go follow me over there. And I do a lot more on TikTok right now than anything. But anyway, so I followed him on TikTok, and he was giving a copy away of his free ebook. So I got myself a copy, and I read it, and oh my gosh, like, this world is so different. It's just, it's different, but it also has that familiar feeling to it, because you're literally sucked into this world. It's kind of like modern day meets Alice in Wonderland, but like more or less, like not like full on Alice in Wonderland, like Alice going into Wonderland, but it's like the more or less like the queen, like with the cards and like the suits, and there's different suits for everybody. Everybody's got different names. You got Deuce, you've got 7, you've got 8, you've got 9, you've got the King, you've got the Queen, you've got the Jack. You know, they're basically set. It's like an Alice in Wonderland meets a deck of cards, if that makes sense at all. And this world was just so fantastic, and I cannot wait for the sequel. The book comes out on the 22nd of this month, so the 22nd of June. So it comes out June 22nd of 2022, if you're watching this later on in the future. So I absolutely love this story, and I cannot wait for this book to get released because I want to reread it. I want to annotate the hell out of it. I'm so excited, and I absolutely love this story. So this book is worth checking out and picking up when it comes out because it was so good. It was just so good. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars just because it didn't really go the way I wanted it to. It didn't play out the way I was expecting it to. However, it was good enough to know that I do want a physical copy of it, and I can't wait. I'm so excited for it to come out. But another reason I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, it was just because it did take me a while to get through, and it's not because I wasn't engaged in the story. It's just I didn't find myself picking it up when I was bored. I didn't find myself picking it up. I couldn't stop thinking about it, but it wasn't enough to, like, I have to know how this ends. So it took me a little while to read it, but I really did enjoy it a lot. It was just so good. So the next two I have are two ones that I picked up on audio. We've got Princess in the Spotlight and Princess in Love. These two I read on Audible. I made a couple trips up to my parents' house, and with me listening to my books on the speed that I do, they took me about 2 hours to read, and narrated by the lovely Anne Hathaway. It was great. I absolutely loved them. I definitely forgot, because this was a reread for me. These both were a reread for me, and I definitely forgot about how the books were a little bit different from the movies, because in the books her father's alive, in the movies they're not, or he's not. So I just loved listening to these with Anne Hathaway. It felt like I was watching the movie. It was just fantastic, and I would definitely recommend listening to the audiobooks for these because Anne Hathaway did a good job, but unfortunately the first 3 is where I'm going to stop probably for a little while because the other books are not narrated by Anne Hathaway, or I might just read them because I think there's 2 more after these. So I think I might just read them and we'll go from there, and hopefully I can hear Miss Anne Hathaway in my head as I'm reading them. But these have been always my all-time favorites, and I'm always going to love these. But if you're not familiar with these stories, so you follow a girl who all of a sudden finds out that she is royalty, and she has to live her life according to royalty, and, you know, she's stuck in the States, but she's royalty in Genovia, which is, I believe, a made-up place, or it's a place over by Italy, maybe, I think, or Germany. I can't remember which. But, yes, I love these. That's basically in a nutshell. She's just basically trying to live her life being royal. This next one I definitely feel like is everywhere, and everybody seems to be talking about it. Everybody's read it. But I kind of wanted to jump on it because I thought it was going to be a really good story, and I wasn't wrong. I was not disappointed at all. I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars. But that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Oseman? I don't know how I'm pronouncing that right. But I loved this story. I loved the animation, the drawings, and I loved how it was really hard for one of the characters to come out, and I think that's what I loved about it, is it was relatable. So it was kind of like the awkward relationship, you know, not sure if you want to get into it, but you really like the person, and you're afraid of how people are going to look at you before coming out. And, you know, I loved this. I have actually I can't say I pre-ordered. It's a very popular hot ticket item at my local bookstore. I always try to support my local bookstore before I go on Amazon. I go to Books A Million, my small little cute local bookstore. I've always tried to support them. They're trying to see if they can get it for me. If they can't, then I'll just probably have to order it elsewhere. But right now it's a very hot ticket book in my local bookstore's community because they've got bookstores across my whole entire state. And I think there's some, I think it's a New England thing. I don't even remember. But yeah, I absolutely loved this, and I believe I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm hoping that my local bookstore can find the other one, because, oh, this was great. I loved it. Alright, so this next one is one that is really popular. I think a lot of people have read it, and I read it, and I have quickly fallen in love with this author. I believe I picked up even another one of her books, but I'm not sure what I did with it. Oh, I think it's in my basket, my haul basket. So, yeah, I think it's in there. Yeah, that's going to be another video that's coming. I've got a lot of books to talk about. I picked up a few, and I went to some little libraries across my area. I found a bunch of books. So, yeah, we have a lot to talk about, guys. We really do. But the haul is going to be another video. But anyway, so that book is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my god, like, I went into this book not really knowing much about it. What I knew, sorry, you guys are hearing my washer. So what I did know about this video, what I did know about this book is we're following a journalist who talks to the famous Evelyn Hugo and learned her story. That's all I knew about it. I had no idea about the bisexual, the fact that Evelyn Hugo is bisexual. I had no idea where the story was going to go, and even when Evelyn Hugo was talking about her daughter and just the fate of her daughter, oh my god, it made me cry so hard. I was so upset. I bawled my eyes out when I read it. I set it down for a couple of days, didn't come back to it, and I was like, I have to know how it ends. I have to know how Miss Evelyn Hugo lives out the rest of her life. And definitely was not disappointed. I enjoyed this so much. I think at some point I might even reread it. I did have a couple of notes in here. At one point I felt bad. I didn't like Dawn. Ernie was not my favorite. And the only thing I really didn't like about it is I found Evelyn too spontaneous. Like, she got married way too quickly, or she fell in love way too quickly. And I felt bad for Dawn. Like, poor Dawn. You know, all he wanted to do was just be there for her, and she just, I don't know. Oh, and then there was Max. I honestly feel like Max did not love her at all. He was not into her. He just wanted something pretty on his arm. Like, I had my views on every single one of her husbands, and I loved it. I absolutely loved this book, and I hope someday I can reread it. It was, I think, honestly, if I think about it, this might become one of my favorite books of the year so far. I mean, all the other ones I've read so far have been really good, but I definitely feel like this will become one of my favorites of the year. Like, I haven't read a book as good as this one yet so far this year, so yes, hopefully. Alright, the next one I have is, I did make a few notes in it just because I loved the illustrations in it. And it is a graphic novel. It's a graphic novel. There we go. And that is A Wrinkle in Time, adapted and illustrated by Hope Larson. The book is written by her. I can't pronounce that. But I definitely marked some stuff in here because I think it was like illustrations that I marked. Okay, that one was just I want to remember that, so I marked it. I think I marked illustrations in here just because the illustrations in here are just so gorgeous. I could not get enough of the illustrations in here. I've just thought about rereading it just to see the illustrations again. Because, I mean, come on. I'm going to try not to spoil any of the story, but Like, holy Hannah, I cannot. I cannot. Like, the artwork is just absolutely gorgeous. And I would recommend this to anybody just to like flip through it and just don't even read it. Just flip through it for the artwork, because this artwork is absolutely stunning. I could not get enough of the artwork, and that's what I loved about it the most. And I think that's why I ended up giving it 5 stars, because the artwork alone is spectacular. So that's all I really loved about it. I read A Wrinkle in Time before, but I read this to reread and take the story in again, but with the illustrations, it just made it so much better. 10 times better. So yes. Alright, and the very last book that I want to talk about is a book I read quite a while ago. I'm not sure how long ago I read it. I mean, I've read a lot of these quite a long time ago. I'm currently reading like 2 or 3 books right now, but I read this one quite a while ago. That is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Williamham. Sorry. So this one is, you follow like 2 different separate timelines, and so you follow a girl named Chloe, and when she was 12 years old, a bunch of people went missing, and it's like 26 years later, she is gotten away from all of it. She thought that all was all behind her, and she's moving on with her life. She's a psychologist, she's planning her wedding, but then all of a sudden all the murders start happening again. So she's basically trying to uncover and figure out why. And this had a twist that I was not expecting. It was a little bit on the predictable side. However, I was not expecting a couple of the twists in it, and I think that's what kept me reading it. I read this in like 3 days just because I could not put it down, and I loved it. It was fantastic. But I would highly recommend this to anybody who wants a really good thriller. I mean, at times it did have its it was predictable at times, and I found myself predicting it, but then there was some parts I was right, but I was also wrong. So I think that's what kind of kept me engaged into the story, and I really, really enjoyed it. But, you know, we're here. We're here for it. I was so happy. I'm so glad I own an actual hard copy and a book of the month copy of this, because at some point I'm going to reread this and I'm going to annotate it like crazy. So, yes, loved it, hands down. Probably not one of the best books I've read so far this year, but it's close. It probably won't make it to my books at the end of the year, but we will see. So, there we go. If you made it this far in this video, thank you. I appreciate you watching for its whole entirety. I feel like I didn't really talk fully about the books, but these are the books that I have read recently. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. As always, every book that I mention is always listed down below, so you guys can go check it out for yourself. If there's any books that I mentioned that you have read, I would love to know your thoughts about them. Please leave a comment down below. If you haven't done so already, I hope you hit subscribe to enjoy my cute little family here, because I try to have fun here. I try to be me and show my personality, and I do talk polycystic ovarian syndrome once in a while, so I hope you guys will follow me. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.